Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you the lime marinade recipe. I'm going to be using it on country pork spare ribs and a fillet of salmon. Start out with some limes, some fresh garlic, add some Dijon mustard, lots of spices, and some olive oil. Now I brought the apple cider vinegar out just in case we don't have enough lime juice. Sometimes the limes are not as juicy as we want them to be. So we're going to start out with peeling the garlic. Get the cutting board out. And I decided to mince the garlic with my knife today. You could use the rasp or a small grater if you wanted to. I just decided to use the knife. Please be careful with the knife. Next is going to be the limes. Now, because we're going to zest the limes, I am going to wash them off. So we just want the green part. That's where the oil is, and that's where all the flavor is. You want to make sure that you're turning the lime as you're running it down the rasp. And that'll help just get the green. And we'll scoop that up and get that in with the garlic. So we'll cut our limes in half. Next, we're going to use the Dijon mustard. Now, if I was paying attention, I would have put the juice in the jar and shaken the jar really good so I could get it all out easy, but I didn't. So, next time. And then we're going to put the salt and pepper in. We'll start with our spices. That is ground oregano, and that is sage. And next is the chili powder. And then the coriander. And the cumin. And the smoked paprika. And we're going to whisk that up real good. And if you'll notice, it's very liquidy. And what's going to happen is when you get the olive oil in there and you start whisking it around, it's going to get thicker. It does something called emulsifying, and that's what that means. It gets thicker, just like it does when you make a salad dressing. Okay, we're going to use this on pork country ribs. You want to make sure that you do get them evenly coated, because this is where a lot of their flavor is going to come from. The salt in the marinade was just for the marinade. It wasn't to salt and pepper the meat. And we're going to use about 3/4 of this. And they don't have to be submerged. And I did decide to cover them with some aluminum foil. You can use whatever you want. If you want to use plastic wrap instead, that's fine. But I just chose to use the foil this time. If you have a container that has a lid, you could do that too. Whatever you prefer. But they'll get covered and get put in the fridge for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. And now we're going to put the rest of the marinade on the fish. And so I just made sure that it was evenly coated. Give it a little swirl. And then we're going to get the grill going. We've got the grill on. Everything got on there. And you want your temperature to be around 350, 375. Just like you would if you were cooking it in your oven. And we're going to give it a check. Now the salmon will be cooked at your preference. I prefer my salmon to be cooked a little bit more. If it's very soft and squishy, it needs to cook more for me. It means that the inside is not cooked completely. So I like mine done all the way. And the fish is done. Now it will cook just a little bit more once you take it off that tray out of the way. Those trays are great for any kind of fish or shrimp or anything you don't want to fall through the grill. And we'll get that inside. And the best way to check your meat is a meat thermometer. There's all little tricks that you can do and push on the meat, and if it resists and feels like a certain part of your hand, I still think the best way is to use a thermometer. Pork should be cooked to 145 degrees. And that way you know you're safe. And once it reaches, even if it's 143, that's fine, because just like the fish, once you take it off the heat, it will keep cooking a little bit. It may raise 3 or 4 degrees more. So we're going to take that off and get it onto a plate. This marinade would also be great on chicken, and you could use it on some shrimp. And I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you give it a try. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, and see you next recipe. For more details and a copy of the recipe, check me out on Patreon at Braisingly Beau.